Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. You see the title. So today we're going to be talking about when two narcissists come together. But before I do that, you guys, I want to give a shout out to a subscriber. Her name is Yvette Perez. I see you, girl. Let me put you in here. Can you guys see her? I'm going to post it up. Yvette, honey, I see and I feel the love, honey. I'm going to share her comment, you guys. That just totally warmed my heart. She says, "Hi, Lakia. This is my second time watching this video." She commented under Law 9, win through your actions and never through argument. This is a series that I did under a playlist, which are books that I do advise my subscribers to read to increase their emotional maturity. And this was pertaining to the 48 Laws of Power, a book written by Robert Greene. Okay. All right. Now that I've done that, she says, "Hi, Lakia. This is my second time watching this video. And you mentioned that you don't know one subscriber that has watched all your videos. I'm pretty close, but I wanted to tell you and your subs that the way I keep track is I always like the video. I figured if you took time out of your day to try to help us, then you deserve a like. Even though they are all really good and informational, just a thought on how to keep track." And she put the smiley emoji. "Gonna really take time just to see how many I've watched. I've been binging over a year and a couple of months and have watched a few of them 4 and 5 times for reinforcement. Sorry for this novel, but thank you, Lakia, and have a nice day." Aw, you're so welcome, sweetie. And this is not a novel. And if it is, this is the kind of novel I love to get, okay? So thank you for showing so much love for the channel and for all your continued support, Yvette Perez. I just wanted to extend that to you. And if you have never read any one of my books, sweetie, email me at coachlakia@gmail.com. Let me know who you are, of course, and which one of my 4 books that I could personally send to you, sweetie. Thank you so much for showing love to the channel. Yeah, I get like amazing comments from you guys, and I tell you all the time that I read all my comments. I really do, you guys. And, you know, I respond accordingly if I feel like I need to say something back, or at least give you guys a heart. You know, I'm pretty good with that type of thing. But I see my comments and I check them very regularly. All right, honey. And I'll go back to that comment and make sure I leave that comment underneath there just in case. So she'll be sure to watch her shout out and get that information. All right, so a lot of people are actually surprised, you guys, to even fathom the idea of two narcissists being together. You know, so that's a foreign concept to some people. But yes, two narcissists can actually get together. And, you know, when we look at the bigger picture, this could be better and then worse at the same time. But at least, you know, two of each kind, you know, they're sticking with their own kind. But on the other end of the spectrum, imagine how much more damage they can do to themselves, to their immediate circle, in society at that point when they're putting all that toxicity together. Nonetheless, what does happen when two narcissists are getting together? You know, when I think about two narcissists getting together, I think of assortative mating, okay? And that might be a new phrase to some of you, but I'll tell you the definition of that. And it basically proposes that like does attract like. I know that we always hear that. We hear opposites attract, but like attracts like as well. And I'll talk about this more when I make my video on the duality of life, because I want to introduce that whole concept or angle from you guys to look at things from minimally this duality type of sense. Like nothing is all bad, just like nothing is all good per se. Okay, so things in life tends to have this duality with it, but I don't really want to digress into that. I'll save my content or my thoughts for that moving forward. But yeah, like can attract like, and people do tend to bond with others that make them feel comfortable with who they are. And usually these are other people that agree with how they are and how they see things and how they do things. So they're bonding over mutuality, or things that they have in common. And this is when you can hear people say, you know what, that's the female version of me, or you know what, or someone perceiving that's the male, I'm with the male version of me. And people feel like they met their soulmate, and this person is just mirroring them so bad, and hopefully it's not a narcissist literally mirroring them for manipulative reason, of course. And I don't want to digress in that angle, but yeah, a sort of mating. Okay. So, this happens a lot with classism, like if someone might say, I want to be with someone that makes at least what I make, or it could be for colorism, or, like racial and stuff like that. Ageism, so things that people may want to have in common with their mate, and they will bond over. Okay. So, for those of you out there that are scratching your head, you're like, but it's still too narcissist, Lakia. How the heck does this work out? How does this work out? Well, I always talk about this on the channel, you guys, but there really is a spectrum, and everyone's not on the same point on the spectrum. We have those that just have the NPD, or they're a narcissist, and then we go to another point of the spectrum where they are a sociopath, and then we go to another point of the spectrum where they're a psychopath. And then I made a video quite some time ago, over a year ago, I'm quite sure at this point, where I talked about the 6 kinds of narcissists, okay, where we can get even more specific on this range when we're talking about malignant. We just said sociopath and psychopath. We talk about the cerebral, we talk about the somatic narcissist, and then we talk about the inverted narcissist, which is, most likely to obviously get with another narcissist, because that's what they do. They cater to the emotional needs of the narcissist. So this person this is a narcissist that doesn't mind being submissive. And this is what I want to point out here. In any relationship, usually, maybe one person might be more dominant or masculine, or more in a masculine energy, and then another person more in their feminine energy. The same thing goes with narcissists. They do have genders, right? A lot of times we dehumanize them because, they're allowing their vessels to be used for such demonic and darkness purposes. But they do have gender. All right. And that gender does have energy. Granted, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, but a person tends to lean more towards one than the other. That's why most women, typically are more in their feminine energy than their masculine energy. And then most guys are more in their masculine energy than feminine, but they have both. Okay. And this is that duality concept coming up again, that I'm not trying to put in this video, but it's just appropriate to point out, you guys. But yeah, so if we're having someone that is willing to take the more submissive role and let the other narcissist be in the dominant role, then, now we have a yin with the yang, don't we? We have a balance here. And then guess what? We have 2 people who can say less to each other. They can be more toxic and dysfunctional and actually thrive in that. And when I say thrive in that, be in their comfort zone with this other person who's going to understand this, because they're in the same energy themselves. Okay. So, this could make for, and this is, a little comedic, I guess, but this could make for a great reality show couple, right? We have these 2 narcissistic people who claim to love each other so much, but there's all this cheating, all this chaos, all this drama, all this fighting and making up to break up, and this one did that, babies outside of the relationship, and oh my. all types of abuse and boundaries being ran over. And then people are just like grilled to the TV because it's so messy. So these two are going to be able to be messy. It's going to typically play out one or two ways. It's going to be overtly messy. And, when I talk about in my video, the 6 kinds of narcissists, I make a subcategory to say they could be overt or covert in these ways. Okay. So this couple is going to be overt about it, where everybody just know like they're on front page with it, and they kind of like feed off of this because it's giving them notoriety, it's giving them attention, and maybe in their mind it's keeping them relevant. And then if they are on a reality TV, it's getting them checks. Okay. So, they're getting rewarded for this behavior, and they're able to be messy and be this it topic and entertain people through their messies who are, into being entertained in that way. So either, like I said, they're going to be overt about it, or they could be a covert couple and they presenting, we're in love, our family is so honorable and perfect, and behind the scenes, if you could be a fly on the wall type of thing, because we know that narcissists are very image focused. But of course, if there's a certain kind of payoff, they will allow themselves to be messy, because if there's a reward, a greater reward that they find admirable. And then at the end of the day, of course, they're pulling it back together. Oh, we made up. Our love has survived this and that. And they're finding a way to twist it in some type of way to make it like, where relationship goes, we're ride or die, this is loyalty, and all of this stuff. And then both of them are cheating and manipulating each other, triangulating others. That's another thing. Narcissists get together, those other people, those other outside parties that pass through the relationship or believe the narcissist when they are separated from their primary source or the other narcissist. Oh, I'm done with them. I'm never getting back with them. I'm in love with you now. I'm starting my life with you. And they triangulate, and this person, this unsuspecting person, and gets caught up in this, and eventually they're dumped and they're back with the other narcissist because they need that drama, and they're taking each other back because they're both having fun with new supply, which is exciting for both of them, right? They like to have something new and sparkly, but then they get to come back with each other and re-love bomb each other and feel brand new and love and sparkly again, with each other. And this is the mask that they wear, and this person's taking their mask and they're taking their mask, and it's like, oh my gosh, you guys. So, that's something else. A lot of other people outside of their relationship is going to end up getting hurt by them throughout the years. And they're like, how is this couple staying together 3 years? They're having so many cycles of abuse on each other. Okay. But it's almost welcomed, because this is how they thrive. And this couple, along with, separating from each other, discarding each other, they can be like so sexually open. Okay. The threesomes, being swingers, like I said, bringing people into or pulling people into their best. Okay. So, this is what's going to happen. And this is giving both of them an adrenaline rush. And you would think this will break them up. And oh no, it keeps it spicy. This is how they keep things spicy there. But yeah, this is what happens, you guys, when two narcissists come together. They're able to really get that much more messier and that much more toxic. Okay. And then, like I said, it's less being said because, this one gets that one. Okay. And that is how it goes down. Now, this was a question that was asked on my support group, my private support group that I run over on Facebook, you guys. So I hope that this helps that survivor understand, what's happening here. Okay. They're coming together and magnifying the traits, okay? But just understand that, you know, one of the narcissists has chosen to take a more submissive role in that relationship and dominant, and they can interchange it. It can be interchangeable. Like this one started out as a dominant one and then the other one, but when it's a long-term situation, it's usually some more of a set energy with that, okay? And probably when it's short term or when it's only working out short term, maybe that other person wants to try to switch the roles, you know, or you never know. Depending on what's in their charts and stuff, variety could be that much more of the spice of life, and they are okay with switching those roles. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and in this video here, if this video resonated with you, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you are hitting that like button. That is a great way to show support to this channel. It helps push my content out in YouTube world, okay? And people that wouldn't have known about me get to add me to the repertoire there, hopefully, and increase their emotional maturity if they need to do that or need help in that area. But you can always be learning and growing and evolving, okay? Because increasing the emotional maturity is learning about psychology, and that's learning about the human mind, which is helping you not only learn about your external environment, but your internal environment, okay? It brings you closer to yourself. All right, feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like the idea of increasing your emotional maturity, not being gullible and naive, being 20 steps ahead, okay, getting those wisdoms and those pearls and, you know, great information that's going to help you on your journey in life. All right, and if you're struggling with healing from narcissistic abuse, traumas, or feeling whole within yourself, getting closure, helping yourself make better or the best, basically, decisions that you can for something special or goals that you want to meet in your life, I am a life coach and I do offer sessions. You can go to my website, lakiacrawford.com to schedule your appointment, okay? All right, be willing to invest on yourself if you need that extra help. YouTube videos, you know, are a great beginning, but most especially survivors of narcissistic abuse, you will, you know, to get there, to get to your sweet spot more proficiently, to get more gusto, more bang for that experience, I highly recommend getting some type of therapy, some type of coaching, you know, increasing your support system, especially in the beginning of a discard when you probably feel extremely isolated and by yourself, okay? And then knowing that most brick and mortar therapists tend to not really understand this whole thing quite as they should. You know, they don't put a lot of information about that in the books that they have to study. Okay, and that's why they're not knowing as much. All right, and then maybe they don't, a lot of times when you've personally experienced it, as I have, you know a lot more than those books could ever tell. Okay, and I've spoken to so many survivors as well, so it gives me a lot of information when it comes to that kind of area. But enough about that. All right, always check the description down below to see what I have going on, you guys. My website will always tell you what I have going on as well. There you can find my therapeutic books. These make great gifts, and especially now for the holidays, that you can do for yourself or friends and family. My books are available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, where you can get the ebook in a hard copy. And if you want a signed copy, you can go to my website, lakiacrawford.com. And I'll just take a moment to show you the books. All right, we have the X Factor Volume 1. This one right here, you'll know when you see them just by the design as well. This book is to help you get over a breakup and help you have a positive mind frame when it comes to reconnecting with yourself and being back in your singleness, okay? This book right here is great for doing shadow work on yourself and taking you through the healing process and the grieving process of day one of a breakup to getting to a point where you're feeling whole and ready for love again. All right, now this one is when you are just taking all those pearls of wisdom with you. Isn't that a beautiful cover? And you are understanding your external world and your internal world, and you are just in tune with the matrix, baby. So this is very great for the thinkers out there, all right, and getting an emotional maturity on a whole nother level. All right, you guys. But yeah, two narcissists together, honey. Ooh, stay clear of them if you can. And if you can, definitely do your gray rock. All right. So I hope this video has helped you. If you have any questions or you want to talk about something that you know about two narcissists being together, feel free to comment down below. All right. With that being said, and never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work, of course. And until next time, please take care. Thank you.